Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's talk. It's Monday, the 14th of March, 2022, and the subject for my today's talk is the comparison, or what we can learn in management in business from management in like in youth organisations, churches, etc. So, hi, I'm Nick Trowbridge. I'm passionate about leadership, and I believe that anybody can become a good leader if they receive the correct training, coaching, and mentorship. I was in church yesterday, and there was the sermon was mentioned the role of leadership in church youth groups, and I gave this some thought, and it's absolutely correct. It's absolutely right. Now, in church youth groups, what tends to happen is that, as people get older, nobody really wants, if you're in a youth group and you're 14, 15 or something, you don't want somebody to lead that group who's 40 something, right? 30 something would be bad enough, but 40 something, So there's a constant need to develop new leaders from within the group that can take over then the leadership role when the guys and girls who are older move on to do other things. And and it's sort of because you have to do it, right? The sermon mentioned that we've got two youth group leaders, and both work full time. They just do this as a hobby or as a service to the church, and they. But they're both, what are they, both mid-20s, I guess, something around that. But they will move on, do other things. They may because of their jobs, may have to move away or whatever. So what they do is they encourage the next generation. So they sort of have leader helpers or whatever, assistants within the group, and those normally then take over the leadership role later on, and that's the way it works. And the guys and girls who are in leadership now in those groups, or with those groups, they came up through the groups. And I was sort of thinking about it, comparing it to business management, and in that youth group culture, of course, it's imperative, because if you don't grow that next group of leaders, you've the whole thing will just, the movement will just more or less seize up, disappear even. I was thinking about how's that work in business. Well, in business, of course, you can always bring in a leader from another department within the company, or bring in somebody from a completely different company, and that's sometimes necessary. But wouldn't it be better if you, as a leader, could develop the next leader from within your own group? And if you set that as an aim, as a target, it can be done. Not always, because you will have some people in members in your group who don't even want to go into leadership, and you may you may not have the people willing. Anybody's able with the correct coaching, training, and mentorship, and that's exactly what that happens in these youth groups. But it's food for thought, really, because I think often in business, leaders or managers are missing a trick there, because proper leaders, that's what you do. You develop the next generation, or try to develop let people develop, and personally and skills wise within your group, and they may well then take over from you when you move it over on to do another thing. You should never be in a situation where you know that if you leave the group, the group's going to be swimming, because there's nobody left to take over from you. So that's my thoughts on the comparison between leadership in youth groups within a church environment and leadership within a business environment. So I hope you've enjoyed the talk. If you'd like to discuss anything I've talked about today, please get in contact via the link button below, and there's also a link to subscribe, share, like if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see everybody again tomorrow. Cheers for now. Bye bye.